Mostly both broken metas. This will be interesting because I don't know if I'll know all of them or remember all of them. But I see.
Absurd metas Overwatch has had throughout its 8 years now.
Oh my
But
god,
instead of
Beyblade
yapping
Reaper.
about it, why don't I just show you?
Is it just gonna be clips? I actually don't know what video is gonna be.
I'm going to take you through a trip down memory lane and show you some of the most broken metas that Overwatch has had throughout its entire history.
You can't
Just
still
to
do
make it a
that one.
bit
That's
easier
too
to
low,
follow along,
though.
It'll be in chronological order, and this list will just be for Overwatch 1. To start off the list, we have one of the first truly broken metas of Overwatch's history, and it's a pretty wild and memorable one to say the least. That meta being called Beyblade meta.
I love Beyblade. No. Add this back. Add this back.
This meta was given its name by former pro and streamer Shore4 because of its likeness to the kid's toy Beyblade. And for those who don't know what a Beyblade is, this is a Beyblade. All that you need to know about it for this video is it spins really fast and destroys everything in its pathway. So for this meta, there's 3 main pieces we need: an Ana, a Reaper, and a Zarya. And back then, Ana's nano boost would actually give you a speed boost as well.
I mean, like, this is stupid now, but this is so
and that's
sick.
what made
I'm
this
sorry.
meta and clips like these possible. And it was so broken that it was even used in the Pro League at the time.
Not to push your odds, but
Oh
here
my
comes
god,
Buzz
old
again, and he's
Pro
looking to
is
do it
so much
one
better.
more
I don't know
time.
why.
Drops
Something
right
about
there,
like
gets 3, and that's gonna be Scoop with
early
another.
pro
Follows up with
level
one more
is so cool and it's
Up
so
next,
like
we have what I like to call the hide and seek meta.
self-made. I don't
Mercy, back in 2017, had a much different ultimate. Back then, she had her resurrect ability as her ultimate, but with one big caveat, and that's that she could res her entire team rather than just one person with her ultimate. Not only did she res her entire team, but she did it instantly rather than having the wind-up she has now. And on top of that, she was invulnerable during her
so
ultimate,
annoying.
meaning she couldn't be slept or killed while she was resing. And that's what created this playstyle of Mercy just hiding, waiting for her entire team to die, and then peeking around the corner to bring them all back to life.
because on an overtime you'll use
I
all
get
your
annoyed
ults
at
to
her
kill
just
them,
rezzing
and then
one
Mercy
person
will
now.
just fizz
I can
them all, and then
imagine
you have
what
no
it was
ults.
like having to play into that. After the wonderful and glorified game of hide and seek, we have its predecessor, that being the Moth meta. The mass res was so hated
I
that
think
they
this
were
is
forced
worse,
to give her
honestly.
a rework. And with this rework, it gave Mercy nearly 100%
This
pick
is-
rate
yeah.
across every single rank and in Pro League. So you might be asking, what did they do? They gave her a new ultimate.
Make sure. Right. Those rank icons are so much better. I'm not even one of those guys that just beat rides Overwatch 1. I've played more Overwatch 2 than I've played Overwatch 1. But those icons just look so much better. Like in every way. The shiny ones, the fact they went a little bit, they just look better. Maybe not
That you know
Masters,
now,
Masters is
Valkyrie, where she
actually.
can fly in any direction. It also allowed her to heal several targets at once and gave her infinite ammo on her blaster. But of course, Blizzard wanted to keep res as it was so iconic, so they moved it from her ultimate to a normal ability. But with that, Blizzard made it to where whenever Mercy would use her ultimate, it would reset the cooldown of res. And then, on top of that, they also made res a 10-second cooldown inside of her ultimate, which could pull off for crazy clips like this one here.
Yes. I'm not seeing a kill yet.
Everyone chose the music clip. I remember watching the film when it came out, bro.
There you go.
Music was like my big content creators to watch always. So yeah. Like, you should watch all of the music videos with Bazza and all of those people. That was really what, like, I loved about the game. I didn't even play the game that much. Like, I had it. I mostly watched content on it more than I actually ever played it. But yeah.
Okay, and then you're back again, boy.
Thank you. And
Infinite resuscitation.
That's another
Oh,
res.
boy.
That's another res.
Yep,
Another
and-
kill.
Okay, and give me just 1 second, and we're back again.
It's the
boys.
instantness of it as well. Like,
Up next, we have what is arguably the most hated meta in Overwatch's history and what killed the game originally: goats. But before I get into the meta, I first have to mention a crucial
Goats
piece
was-
of knowledge for the newer players that came to Overwatch.
I'll just wait before he says that, yes. Codes was so shitty that even in like Bronze Silver, which is where I played Overwatch 1, I obviously played Sombra, right? And so I always said people like just flaming, like, oh, just play goats, just play goats. Like, what? Like, we're in gold. I mean, we're in silver, bronze, even worse. Like, don't even. It was just that bad.
2 and never got to play Overwatch 1. So of course, many of you know, the game used to be 6v6, but what not everyone knows is for the majority of its lifetime, there was no roll-lock, meaning that you could have 6 tanks, 6 supports, 6 DPS, any combination of those. Hell, there was even a time where you could have 6 monkeys jumping at you, in comp, might I add. Anyhow, this meta was theory crafted by a coach named Tensa. He found out that if we have 3 tanks and 3 supports, all that had AoE heals, they could all play together as a giant death ball and run down whoever they wanted while never being able to die, because each of those supports is keeping everyone alive while they have all the extra armor and health from the tanks. And with that, he gave this idea to his open division team named GOATS, Go All Tanks and Supports. GOATS was the meta that defined the decline of Overwatch 1 as we knew it, and the meta that nearly killed the game.
Unironically, playing goats is like it's actually quite difficult. You have to be coordinated. Hence why the bronze silver people asking for it didn't make any sense. But the other thing, I think goats is only annoying because it went on for so long, which I think everyone has said. It's not a hot take, but it went on forever. And otherwise, playing goats, honestly, like if it's with a group of friends, is kind of fun. Because you're just a big death ball. But,
From Pro League to streamers, it affected the large majority of the game and all of the viewers. I'm going to show you something just to show you how much people hated GOATs at the time. In this clip here, the Outlaws try to play something other than GOATs for the first time in almost a year, and their fans are ecstatic about it. But as soon as they see NYXL playing GOATs, they go back to swap.
oh, look at these rosters. Oh my god.
And then proceed to get booed by their own home crowd. And this meta is only possible because of the release of a brand new hero named Brigitte, and because of how absurdly broken she was. So why don't I just give you a few examples as to why she was so broken. Her shield was 600 health, her repair pack instantly healed 150 HP, and if you were already full health, you get 75 armor on top of your health. Brig's Bash would stun through shields, so early on during GOATs, one of the big ways for your Reinhardt to land a shatter was your Brig would just walk up to their Reinhardt, stun him through his shield, so your Rein could shatter the entire team.
Playing Brig on PTR was the worst thing ever. I remember playing it and it was just zero fun. Like, actually zero fun on PTR. Like, when Ash came out, it's like, oh, it was actually a fun time on the PTR, but holy, did Brig sucked. You could tell.
And then on top of all of this, she had a bug that made her broken. A bug to where her armor from Rally would reduce more damage than regular armor would. So not only did she give you armor, she gave you souped up armor. And it was specifically strong against Tracer and Reaper at the time because of the way their pellets would work, which is another reason what made GOATs so broken at the time. And this bug wasn't found out for about 2 years later until Workshop was released, so we could actually see stats of going on whenever people would take damage. Blizzard had to introduce 222 Roll-Lock to officially put the nail in the coffin of GOATs comp. With the addition of Roll-Lock, there was a new hero added named Sigma.
Sigma's
you might see where this is
busted.
going. With his release, it spawned arguably the most hated meta to ever exist. And that's because it affected every single level of play, from Plastic 5 all the way to top 500 and the Pro League.
And it was just as bad on every rank. It sucked on every single rank. It wasn't like it was slightly bearable in gold. It sucked in every single rank.
And not only that, but this meta lasted the longest of any. From Sigma's release in August of 2019, all the way up until October 2nd of 2022 with the closing of Overwatch's 1 servers.
Yeah,
the main goal of Double Shield Comp was just to absorb as much damage as you possibly could, much like in this clip here. And this clip is at 2x speed, by the way. But the 2 main staples you needed in Double Shield Comp, of course, were Sigma and Orisa. Sigma functioned pretty much the exact same back in Overwatch 1, but with a lot better versions of his abilities. But back then, Orisa was a little bit different. For her main ability, she had a Halt to set up for kills, her Fortify, and then a shield as well on top of that. And the main goal was either just to cycle your shields, or if someone tries to go on a flank and take an angle, you just shield off that angle with Sigma, and no one's ever going to get to your backline with 2 shields blocking the front and any other angle that the DPS wants to flank at. The main DPS played in this comp were either things like Bastion and Hanzo to break the shields as quickly as possible, if you could even break through the shields by the time they had another one, or just Doomfist, like what was seen a lot in the Pro League. Doomfist was by far the most played DPS.
I'm pretty sure that this was super easy to balance. They just didn't do it. Like they just needed there to be actual windows in between the shields, but there wasn't. Like Orisa got a shield up at the same time Sigma's. Like while Sigma's was down, then as Orisa went down, Sigma had his back, and then.
In Overwatch League, one because he could punch through shields and get picks that way on squishies, or he could combo with Orisa's halt, one-shotting any squishy that was pulled near him. And then similar to Rollock, Blizzard couldn't balance double shield. And so they had to introduce what is my favorite meta on the list, hero pools. And it's not my favorite because of how it played or anything, it's my favorite because it truly shows peak Blizzard implementation with how they do things. So what hero pools were, they were essentially hero bans. And you might be thinking, oh, hero bans, that sounds like a good idea. It would give me some agency over the game, especially
I'm like the rest of everyone else. I like isn't the average person. I stopped playing really after like goats happen and shit because it's like, well, what the fuck, this game sucks and Fortnite's doing well and I'm 12. How are you gonna tell a 12, 13-year-old, yeah, play through goats and double shield? Don't worry, you'll be fine. Don't go play Fortnite. Like,
against the current most broken hero at the time. Well, hold up there, bucko. This is Blizzard we're talking about, okay? And Blizzard does things in their own fashion. Rather than let the players ban the heroes they didn't like, Blizzard thought, hey, we know what's best. Why don't we ban the heroes? Because players don't know.
People always say like, we had hero bans. No one liked them. They didn't work. And it's like, well, they didn't make hero bans. Hero pools are a different thing.
Dumb. Each week they would ban 4 new heroes, 1 tank, 1 support, and 2 DPS. And how did they decide what heroes to ban? Well, at random, of course. But it was even so random at one point that they let a cat pick the heroes to ban for that week.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Mate! This is the worst!
A cat. Blizzard actually thought a cat would be better to choose bans than their own community who plays the game every day.
I think they did it
cat,
because
guys.
Otherwise, you're just gonna ban this. Like, if I'm not sided with Blizzard, but if you do ban the correct ban every week, you're banning the same characters for the rest of the game. It's such a like stupid fix. It's not a fix. It's literally just like, oh, we can't be asked to actually balance.
Cat. A cute cat named Nori. But hey, it was a freaking cat! I digress. So anyways, you would have a new meta every single week. And not only did this affect rank play, it was also for the Overwatch League, which sent the league into madness for about 3 or 4 months because they wouldn't have time to prepare and develop their but for more than a few days at most. And with that, it saw some of the worst absolute trash cans of teams, allowing them to rise to the top, getting better placements for tournaments and ruining other teams' potentials that had been winning all season before these hero bans. And they didn't even have hero bans in tournaments, so like, what was even the point, Blizzard? I don't know. Their explanation provided was, we are attempting to stop stagnating metas from happening in Overwatch, which, great, I like that, but I hate Blizzard's implementation. Whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. That was the most broken metas throughout Overwatch's entire history. I have a lot of educational content on here as well. If you guys are into that, make sure to check them out. A bunch of unranked GMs. And I'm live every Tuesday through Thursday.
That is the gist of it. Oh yeah. Babs a lamp is basically a shield for a bit. Alright. That was good.